¿Qué tal, gente? Yo soy Frank Jiménez, vocalista de Awaken Serenity y host del podcast Frankthulhus Meditations. Y hoy, en colaboración con metalmemesmx, voy a entrevistar a Michael Gilbert, guitarrista de FLOTSAM and JETSAM. No se lo pierdan.
Sounds good.
So, Michael Gilbert, everyone. Oh, cheers. I have myself.
Cheers. All right.
Yeah, I'm drinking some hydro honey. Well, I'm gonna present you on Spanish. Todo mundo, este es Michael Gilbert de FLOTSAM and JETSAM, una banda legendaria de thrash metal. El día de hoy vamos a estar hablando del nuevo álbum, Blood in the Water. Am I right? Yeah. Y pues, esta es una entrevista con Michael Gilbert. Michael, how are you, man?
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm doing good.
I'm doing good too.
Up here in Arizona, I think we're over 100 degrees right now.
Oh man, I feel you. I live out in a place called León, Guanajuato, and it's like a desert too. But I imagine yours it's worse than mine.
I like the heat.
That's good. So, how's FLOTSAM doing?
This new record, Blood in the Water, seems to be. We just released it. It came out on the 4th.
4th of June. Yeah, right.
And it's doing the 3 singles that have been out have been doing very, very well. Probably better than any other record that we've ever released. So
oh, really?
I'm really looking forward to see where this one ends up by the time it goes through its life cycle. I hope it's on the it's charting right now, so I hope it stays in the charts for a little while. And we've got a lot of good reviews about it, and I'm excited for people to hear it, man.
Oh man, the album is amazing. I gotta say that. Like from the singles, Brace for Impact was my favorite. Like it's one of my favorite songs of the album, alongside The Walls and 7 Seconds Till the End of the World. Like those were my favorites. I think the album is really good. I think it's gonna be on the charts like for a long time. And man, like FLOTSAM and JETSAM, it's a legendary band. Like I was hearing an interview of you, and you were saying like we're not just a thrash metal anymore, and you're right, man. I like this mixed style of yours between like some power metal and heavy metal and thrash metal. It sounds really good.
Yeah, we've kind of transitioned into something else. I think after with Hammerfall a year and a half ago, I think we ended up gaining some new fans, and AK kind of expanded his his choruses and stuff like that. I think maybe Hammerfall might have been a bit of an influence on him.
Oh man, Hammerfall, it's a super band. It's one of my all-time favorites of power metal, actually. Like I've been I'm 27 years old, and I've been listening to him like since I was like 16 or 17, and they're way older than that. Like it's another legendary band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you guys came up with this album? Like what's the inspiration for the songs? And also how's the pandemic treating you guys as a band, since touring has been practically impossible for the last year and so?
As horrible as the pandemic is and everything, it's actually been a good thing for us, because instead of hurrying up and rushing our record, Blood in the Water, we ended up being able to spend a little bit more time on it.
That's nice.
We had an original due date for release on January 10th of 2021, which was at the beginning of this year. Only because we were going to be out with Accept, and we wanted to release the record, as that tour started. But that tour got pushed back to 2022. And we figured sometime in the summer, beginning of the summer, June 4th would be a great time to release it. It was
it's nice.
Brace for Impact. That was the original title for it.
Oh.
But, we started doing the artwork, and it looked way too close to our previous album, The End of Chaos. With what FLOTSAM the Lizard was doing and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I saw it too.
He was wrecking stuff still. He's Destructive Lizard, and it looked too close to Brace for Impact, End of Chaos.
Mm.
We had our artist do a couple more treatments for it, and he came up with the blood in the water, with the lizard like waiting to pounce, and
Oh yeah.
he's
Like
getting ready to
stalking.
do something. So it kind of actually sets up our next record,
Oh yeah. What's
What
the
are you gonna
lizard
do
gonna
next?
do?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's really nice. And I actually also wanted to ask you, like, I told you I sing on Awaken Serenity, like that's my band. And we have like something I like to call the composition ritual. Um, I'll explain. Like, for example, we used to, like, some of the guitarists will think of a riff, and then he'll show it like to me and the other guitarist, and then we'll work around that riff and see like, oh, maybe we can add this melody or these notes, stuff like this, and then we think like a lot of new things on the making of that riff and stuff like this, and then we are like, oh yeah, we're gonna like drop a breakdown in the next part or something like that. So my question would be like, what's your composition ritual? And also if you added anything new on the composition of this new record.
Composition ritual. It's pretty interesting because we used to always, like back in the day, we would always get in a rehearsal room and play together, and that's got a ton of energy when you do that. And a lot of bands lose that when they do like they pass files, wave files back and forth. Like for instance, if everybody's got Pro Tools or Logic or whatever, and they're passing files around, you lose a little bit of that energy. But for some reason, we're able to keep it. We are passing files around and stuff like that. But it seems like the energy comes from not re-recording the guitar parts. It's kind of weird because most bands, they record scratch guitars and they go back and re-record them. And we're finding out, and me and Steve talk about this a lot. We're finding out that if you go back and you re-record them, you actually lose a certain element. You can't explain what it is, but you lose something. And you might have experienced this too. Like you go back and you're like, man, it just doesn't have the energy that it used to after I re-recorded it. We try to write the song and finish it as we're writing it. When Steve and I write, so that's kind of the premise that we're going on in the ritual, and then send that over to AK and Ken and let them do their put their giant choruses and stuff on it, and that's usually how it goes since we don't have a rehearsal hall to go to anymore.
Oh yeah, we're the same here. And so you guys are all in Arizona?
Yeah, everybody except for our new bass player. He's in New York.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Because my next question was gonna be like, do you guys record all together or separately? And well, about this thing of the guitar parts you're saying, like maybe it's the essence. Like I understand what you're saying about like when you're loose, when like you send these MP3s with like the riffs, like something's like you gotta see the person who made the riff playing it in front of you, so you know like this essence or this energy you're talking about, like because when you just send it, like I don't know, like you said, it loses something. It's
weird. It's weird. It loses something for sure.
Yeah.
And then the new guy, we did the same thing with him. We passed files to him. He finished his bass parts up. He did a tremendous job. Then we sent it off to mix, and next thing you know, we got blood in the water.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. So aside from him, all of the other members of the band recorded on the same place?
We all have our own studios. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's really nice. Oh, man. So, well, anything else you want to add about the new record?
Yeah, it's so easy to record from home these days. They've made it really affordable, and the stuff is like the hardware and the interfaces are all like super high quality at a cheap price. So, I guess those days of spending $50,000 in the studio is gone.
Yeah, man.
And I always have like the red light. I get red light fever. When someone presses that record button, even doesn't matter how many times I practice a song. As soon as someone presses the record button, I'm like, oh, you know.
Yeah, I've been there.
But when I can do that on my own terms, it's not. I don't get as
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah. The pressure, man. Like people watching you closely. Like it's not the same when you're like playing live and maybe you do a mistake or something and nobody's gonna notice. But when you're like recording and there's a producer, like he's gonna know if you don't
Yeah.
play the note right or something like this, and he's gonna tell you like, yeah, you gotta repeat this.
Yeah, there would be those days like when we were doing our first couple of records and Bill Montoya was engineering, and I'd be standing behind him, you know, and he's controlling the 2-inch tape, and then I'd be playing along with the drums, and then he would just stop and he would go, "Nope, that's not it. Do it again."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, ah. I'd be playing through and he would stop. Nope. Yeah. So.
Yeah, yeah, I know that feeling. Like everybody on Awaken, it's like that too. And we just only have one record, so I can imagine all the experience you guys had on the studio and recording and stuff like this. And a
Dude,
lot
I'm
of times,
excited. What's that?
sorry.
Oh,
No,
I
no,
was
no.
saying, I'm excited to hear your record, dude.
Oh, thank you so much. The record it's like almost 2 years old, but I think it's good because the pandemic like has stopped us because we're not on any record label. Like we're on the independent artists. So actually, my next question to you was gonna be like, how's working with AFM Records all about? Like I watched some epic names there like Rhapsody of Fire and Bloodbound and all of these other guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a
and
good
I
label.
also like watched you guys have been on other like legendary record labels. So well, talk to me about AFM.
Well, you can't go wrong with a record label that's called All for Metal. So
Oh yeah,
they're a tight knit company, and they treat us very well. They understand how metal works and the marketing and you know, as before, like when we were on major labels years and years ago, I'm not sure that the major labels really knew how to market us. You know, we always had an A&R rep that was really good. Michael Lago, I don't know if you've heard that name, but he's the guy who signed Metallica. He signed Metal Church, and he ended up signing us too. And having that guy as your backup, as your liaison to the record label was always good. But and he was a fan, but he couldn't get the label to do, you know, to market it and do the things the right way. So I know it was frustrating for him, it was frustrating for us, but yeah, you know, I mean, they thought we were going to take off like Metallica, but you know, it just didn't happen that way. A little more work needed to be put into it. So
yeah,
the independent labels, the smaller labels, like I think AFM is actually considered a major label these days, you know, but definitely understand how heavy metal works or thrash metal or whatever you want to call us.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I thought also that AFM Records might be a major level right now because they got really good names like you guys and like the other ones I was saying like Rhapsody of Fire and stuff like this. So I think, and you're right, man. Like nobody wants to, or nobody really knows like how to take metal out. Like it's weird because like we at the beginning of the band like started like playing with other bands like we're not even metal, like we're not even rock or something like this, and it was weird like, why do you invite us to play some real extreme music to a place where there's people singing love songs with acoustic guitars, which is not bad at all. Like I love some of these songs, but man, like it's not the same like energy or like the same vibe, you know, like it's weird.
Yeah, we've been misplaced at gigs before too, and it's awful. But you still do it, you know. I mean, there was a
Yeah.
gig in it was in Jacksonville, Florida, and you know, we get there and we're like, oh my god, it's like there's such a little club, and so we're talking to the promoter, and the guy's like, yeah, there's 11 paid sales for the evening.
Holy
11
shit.
paid. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Tonight's going to be a fun one. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I had to go in and give the guys a pep talk and say, look, you guys, just still, even though there's nobody here, it's not an advertised show, and the promoter just didn't care about, getting people in there that night. And I think it's Wednesday night too.
Oh shit.
So I tell the guys, I'm like, yeah, just make sure you just play. Let's have some fun. We're getting paid. Let's play and have some fun. And you just never know. When I put my guitars away that night, the dude comes up and taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around, and it's Jim Root from Slipknot.
Oh.
Yeah, he was one of the 11 people that paid.
Damn.
You just never know. You always got to give it your all. Always 100 every time.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Like you said, like maybe there's 10 people in the room, but one of them might be James Root, for example. Like that's crazy. That's crazy, man. But he was there, like
that guy, like 12 feet tall, like real life, 12 feet tall, like 4 feet.
Yeah. He's
of me standing next to him. I did a selfie with him, and I had to stand on a chair.
Oh,
he's awesome though, man. He's super fun dude to hang out with.
Yeah, I can imagine these Slipknot guys are real fun. I've seen them live here in Mexico at Notfest. Well, their spectacle it's awesome too. So I wanted to ask you another question. I did my homework about Flotsam. Well, I actually listened to you guys years ago. Like you're older than me as a band, like on live. So what I was gonna ask you, like I watched the band started like 82. Yeah, am I right?
Yeah, I think it started, that was before I got in there, but yeah, they started around 82. I joined in 1985.
Oh, okay.
Up until like 96 or something like that. And then I bailed because of management and stuff like that. I was like, and metal was like going like down. If you were a metal band at that time, people were like, it was a curse,
Yeah.
But luckily, a few years back, everything started to kind of resurge, and metal started getting cool again. And now it's back popular music, and it's bigger than it's ever been,
Oh, yeah. I was gonna ask you, like I watched you took a break, and I was gonna ask you if you did another gigs, or what was your experience like when you came back to the band and stuff like this. And yeah, like metal, it's very trendy nowadays.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I was I played in a couple cover bands, just screwing around. I did lead vocals in one of my cover bands. And and I was just like, man, this is a friend of mine came up to me and said, dude, he's like, I got to do a rock and roll intervention on this. He's like, what are you doing? You're playing cover songs. You're in a band, an international band, and then now you're here playing cover songs. He's like, you need to get back in your band. And I was like, okay. So around that time, AK ended up calling me up, and he's like, dude, let's get the band back together, man. That kind of thing. And it's like, okay. So, the management and the stuff that was causing me to leave, that was all gone. So we started over with Ugly Noise, and then, the rest is kind of history.
Well, that's nice. It's nice you're back.
Thank you.
Yeah. And like sometimes there's people like that don't belong like on a group, right? And maybe, I don't know, like sometimes you see people that like you see things in people that other people don't see or stuff like this, and you're like, nah. But if that's all gone, like I'm glad you're back on the band, man. And I was gonna ask you about it. And other thing I was gonna ask like about the new album was about touring, but you already like told me you postponed that till next year, right?
We've got some dates coming up in a couple of weeks, actually, probably I think about a month. We've got some dates that are they're not announced yet. I think they're going to be announced either tomorrow or Monday, but it's very short. It's only like 10 or 12 days, and then we're going to be in Europe in 2021 with Accept, and then we've got some East Coast dates after that, and then hopefully we get down there to see you guys, man, because I've never been to South America, but for the last 6 years, we've tried to book dates, and we get dates booked, but for whatever reason they fall through due to the promoters. Like we can't find the promoter, or like I don't want to fly all the way down there and find out we don't have any accommodations. That would kind of
Oh,
suck.
yeah, that's a bummer, man. Yeah, I know that one.
Things are looking up though, man. It seems like there's more promoters looking into it now, and hopefully hopefully we get down there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here in Mexico, there's big festivals. Like maybe
The Domination Festival in Mexico City is
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Dominations, it's nice. Notfest, it's good. Mexico Metal Fest, that's a really nice one too. It's one of the newest, but one of the bigger ones. Maybe this is gonna be streamed on Metal Memes Mexico.
Okay.
And this guy, it's like he's got a very good relationship with Mexico Metal Fest. So maybe he can hook you up with those guys. They got promoters and stuff like this. So
that'd be great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'll talk to this guy, and I'll tell him to give you the information for this, because you guys are a really good band. So maybe you can play on Mexico Metal Fest, and it's a really good and big festival here in Mexico. And yeah, so South America, it's actually real nice too, man. I don't know how big are festivals there, but they do like metal. Like Awaken, my band, we are not like a very popular band yet, but we have some fans in Chile and Argentina and all these places. So yeah, people do like their metal in South America. Yeah,
Where's the Mexico Metal Fest at? What city?
Monterrey.
Oh, okay. So it's not Mexico. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a Monterrey.
Pass my info over to him, and I'll hook him up with our promoter or our agent, and
yeah, that would be great.
Maybe you guys can get on that too.
Oh yeah, I would like to, but we need new material, man. Like it's been really hard, like to be all together and make new songs and stuff like this. We're planning on this second album, but it's just not happened yet. So well, I hope so. Like we're in Mexico, like why not? I think in the last one, the main band was Emperor, but they had a lot of like thrash and black metal and melodic death metal and stuff like this. Oh, I actually think Hammerfall play at that gig too.
Really?
Yeah. It's a big one.
Well, sign me up.
Oh yeah. And well, have you ever been in Mexico? That was gonna be other of my questions.
Yeah, I've been to Mexico a ton of times. Just we played there. We played in Mexico City once, and it was a 2-day gig. And the second day, the promoter took off, and he never paid us. So it's like,
no way.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that was my first time playing in Mexico, and but whatever. That was a few years ago. But yeah, we go on a cruise every year from Long Beach to Ensenada, and then we go get crazy and go get drunk in Ensenada and have fun.
Oh, that's nice.
I love Mexico.
Cool.
And Rocky Point's not too far from here.
It's close.
Like a 4-hour drive or something like that. So
yeah, it's really close. Like you guys are real close to the border. The times I've crossed on border, like on car or like at foot, has been like Texas and California. I don't know. I've never been to Arizona though. Well, that would be a good trip.
If you're going to come to Arizona, you got to come see the Grand Canyon. It's a giant. Yeah. It's just a giant hole in the earth. It looks pretty cool though, man.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I'm all for these like natural landscape places and stuff like this. That's real nice. So, man, last question, last but not least. Like, I was telling you, I have this podcast, and I have like this blooper section of things that happen when I'm recording this thing, and random shit just pops. So I wanted to ask you, what's the most random thing that has happened to you guys on tour?
You know, we were out with Destruction, was it a year and a half ago, and we shared a bus with them, you know, and we were in Belgium, and our bus caught on fire.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yep, we were out in the middle of nowhere. We were driving across Belgium. Our bus caught on fire in the middle of the night, and so we all got off. We're all standing on the side of the freeway, going, "Oh crap, shit! What are we gonna do now?" So they ended up coming and getting us, and they took us to like this little, like a convenience mart out truck stop in the middle of nowhere, and we had these. They knew we were American like right away. There was a bunch of people around, and they started going, you know. And I know George Bush isn't our president, and he hasn't been for a long time. But these guys were like, "Fuck you, George Bush, yeah." And we're just like, "What? Okay." And then the one, you know, he was acting like he had a gun and he was trying to shoot us, you know. So we were like, "Yeah, we probably got to get out of here," you know, because that's like Belgium. I think it has like a terrorist hub there at the airport, you know. So not cool.
Yeah, all that terrorist thing on Europe, it's crazy, man. Like I was on at Paris airport, and I was like about to cross migration, and then like the speakers start like telling people like sit on the ground because there's this baggage alone on the airport, and we don't know if it is a bomb. And I was like, what? And then like 30 minutes later, like, oh, it's okay.
Why would you want to sit down? That would make me want to run.
Yeah, man. I was like, what? But we were on like this like really small place, like walls everywhere, and I was like, okay, there's nowhere to run here. Like, if this explodes, I'm toasted.
Man.
Yeah.
Out of all the airports I've been to, I think Heathrow in England is the worst one. They see us come there and they're like fucking Americans. Here they come. Let's put them in another room and just hold them up. Yeah, man. They give us all kinds of crap.
Yeah. Oh man, something like that happened to me, but on Norway. But I think these guys thought like I was like Syrian or something like this, or like Turkish or something, because they had like these problems. It was like 2017, and they had like these problems with Syrian migration and stuff like this, and they put me like on the room like for 2 days or something like this. Like it was crazy. So yeah, I got you there. Yeah, it's some crazy stuff. Well, man, thank you so much. Oh, sorry, what was that?
You travel quite a bit. You travel all over the place. So like, how are you traveling?
Sorry,
just vacationing?
That one.
You doing a lot of traveling? Are you vacationing or just?
No, when I went to Europe, I was doing some volunteers. Like, I'm an industrial designer. Aside all of this, and so
That's
I was
killer,
doing.
Man.
Oh, thank you so much. And so I was doing like these volunteers, including like Norway, but they didn't even let me in the country. Like it was weird. But yeah, and I've also been on the U.S. like Miami, California, like Los Angeles and San Diego. I've been to Minnesota too. Like I think that's the
Phoenix.
furthest place. No, never Phoenix. But I would love to visit there. Yeah. The Grand Canyon, it's like a must. yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, man, thank you so much for your time.
Dude.
I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely, man. Thank you for having me on your show. Thanks for having me on your show today and talking about blood in the water and stuff. I know we get a little off track, and you're super easy to talk to, so very easy to get off track and kind of bullshit with you because you're super easy to talk to. So,
thanks, man.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Blood in the Water, it's an amazing album.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad you're liking it.
Yeah, I've been playing it and playing it and playing it. So yeah, it's cool.
Okay. Right on.
Well,
yeah, so forward me whatever.
Yeah,
I can give you my address or give me just like send me a link of the band and everything like that so I can go check you guys out on YouTube and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'll send to you like right now, I think. Eso fue todo en la entrevista con Mike Gilbert de FLOTSAM and JETSAM. Muy buena onda. Aquí en el canal de Metal Memes MX. Yo soy Frank Jiménez, vocalista de Awaken Serenity y host del podcast Frankthulhus Meditations. Suscríbanse, denle like a todo. Todo. Peace.